All right. This is I just am going through this to go over the campaign money and where both of these campaigns are spending their money in what state specifically and how that makes a difference on the overall campaign. And I also want to just go long story short. Basically, the swing states that matter the most amongst the swing states, we've talked about this on the show a lot. It's Georgia and Pennsylvania, right? Those are the ones that matter the most, and you can tell that by where these two campaigns are spending their money on ad dollars, on people working there, on just being there to actually campaign. And it's interesting to me because this, I think, connects to what I was asking before. But it also just shows that a lot of this is just like this isn't based off of who is gonna make America the best or who is gonna be able to talk to the American people. This is about who's gonna be able to put the right ads in the right place and the right ads that make people think the right things in the right locations to get that vote. This is really is just marketing. This is just marketing and the ability to tap into the American mind and speak to people and see what's better and speak to people by location. And it makes me think, I think in the beginning of really covering this election and even getting into like covering news personally by myself, like not in a newsroom or not for like an organization, it really does make me think like I was like so naive to think, it was ever maybe anything else. But let's get into this article. Harris and Trump placed their chips on different states to win White House. So, Democrats have spent the last year eyeing a familiar trio of northern states that would deliver the White House in November. So, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania are the clearest pathway to victory, Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign leaders wrote in July, as long as she also picks up a single electoral vote in the Omaha area. The Trump team, meanwhile, has been focused on its own path in the Eastern time zone, a veritable red wall trifecta that overlaps with the northern blue wall around the Great Lakes. It overlaps in Pennsylvania. As long as we heard North Carolina, we just need to win Georgia and Pennsylvania. So basically, and I would say, I'm not going to get into it. Read this whole article for yourself. This is basically looking at what the campaigns are spending money on. You look at Trump, they're spending more money in like a tight group of places because they know that they have Trump's base and Trump's base is strong and they want to spend the ad dollars in these specific states where they couldn't win or where they need to get a win to get that 270 electoral votes, right? Like that's what America is. The popular vote doesn't matter, the 270 electoral votes matter. What Kamala Harris is doing is she's focusing on her states as well, especially Pennsylvania. But what they're doing is they're also casting a wider net because their margin for error is a lot less, and that's the thing. Trump or the Kamala campaign has raised more money, has spent more money on ad dollars and shit like that, but that's because they have more to do and they have and like they say, everybody keeps saying we have to introduce ourselves to Kamala. I think we've introduced after the DNC and the debate, but people keep saying Kamala has to be introduced to the American people. So it's interesting that way to me because I guess it's not interesting. That's intuitive that they have to spend more money on a wider range of places because people aren't as familiar with Kamala. Which interesting to me is the focus on these couple of states and the importance of Pennsylvania and the importance of Georgia. And I also think it's interesting that these super PACs, it's all planned. These big super PACs that are spending millions and millions, almost $1 billion. I think somewhere it says here, let me try to find it. It says where they've been spending money. Let's see. They've spent almost $1 billion is really, yeah. Harris has a much bigger operation overall. On the whole, the Democratic side had spent or reserved at least 933 million dollars for advertising as of September 3rd. That is the way that the money is being spread on these two states is just insane to me. Insane to me. I'm done looking at this. But and let me see the end to get because I don't want to get on this for too long. It comes down to two states. It's Pennsylvania and Georgia, McCarthy said on CNBC. If Trump carries exactly what he did before and wins Pennsylvania and Georgia, he is at 270. He doesn't need Arizona. He doesn't need Nevada. This is what I'll say about this. The media and polls and a lot will tell you that Kamala is winning right now, even if it's by a slight margin. And I think the fact that Kamala has to spend more money in more states and go and do a lot more campaign work Just to be in the margin of error with Trump, I think everybody should stop and say fuck every poll and be very, very, very aware of the fact that this race is very close and Kamala is doing everything perfectly and has the media wrapped around her finger to get to just where she is now. And Trump has run what I would say is a fucking terrible campaign as far as just what the media and the average, like, in the middle, reasonable, I would say, consumer would say. Trump has ran a fucking terrible campaign, and it's his to lose. It seems like less money, less media attention, and I think it is his to lose, and I think that's interesting in and of itself, and where the money is going and how much money is being pushed into Kamala is also interesting to me as well. Um, yeah, yeah. Let's move on to